Yeah.
So let's turn over to the other hot war going on right now in the Middle East. We don't have too much time to spend on it, but just kind of wanting to get same kind of analysis pre and post Trump election. What are your thoughts about what might happen? I know recently something I saw that stood out to me was that Qatar, who had been one of the lead negotiators in trying to broker some kind of deal over hostages between and a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, basically said, you know what, we're done. We're going to get out of the mediation business. And so I don't, I, that happened right after Trump got elected. So I'm not sure how that's connected, but just wanted to get your thoughts about where things stand now, and if things did change either for the better or for the worse, in your opinion, once the election happened last week.
Yeah. Um, my view on the Middle East is sort of the common view, which is there needs to be a two-state solution to the Middle East. That is to say, Palestinians should have a state and Israelis should have a state, and somehow we have to find peace between those two states. I was very impressed by George Mitchell and how he settled Northern Ireland and the bitter dispute there for many years. And basically, the way he did it is he listened for days and days to both sides until they kind of realized, well, we have to do something. Their people are dying, and it was a marvel the way he settled that. Now I don't know if that's going to work in the Middle East, but I can't think of a better way. But let's say this. The war has been going on. I mean, this conflict has been going on ever since the creation of the State of Israel, and even before, perhaps, back in the 40s. The sort of key elements of the recent tension have been, first, the slaughter initiated by Hamas on Israelis, like over 1,000 people killed and the hostages taken. And Israel's right to defend itself, including trying to get at Hamas and clean out Hamas as an enemy. But then, from my point of view, there's been an overreaction in terms of the two sides, in terms of how much suffering has been involved, where millions of people have been displaced in Gaza and have no place to go, and the war with Hamas is ongoing, but it doesn't seem like we're getting as far as we would like to get with them. I know the hostages are right in there, and no matter what I can say, I don't have a magic solution for how to resolve the Middle East conflict for everybody. It's a shame that Qatar has backed off the way you've described. There is a need for continuing negotiations. America doesn't look that good in terms of how it's been approaching the Middle East, especially given the new appointees that President Trump has announced. The Huckabee appointment. Huckabee is a person, he's being appointed as the U.S. ambassador to Israel.
Correct.
His views are, he's opposed to the two-state solution. In other words, well, what is the solution? His solution is get all that land and give it to the Jewish Israeli state, and let the Arab nations absorb the Palestinians elsewhere, I think, is the way that he sees the world. And it's strange, because I remember in the 70s, the view about what was going on in Israel. This is when those athletes were killed in Munich and so on.
Yeah.
And we first learned about the Palestinian Liberation Organization. That organization was dedicated to the creation of one state consisting of Palestinians and Jews, and it would be a multinational state with a parliament or a political body that would rule over the lands that are now Israel and Palestine. And it's very similar to what the Jewish view of What could be done now which is like I would say that Netanyahu and his cabinet and so on are viewing what's going on with the idea that they want to clean out the West Bank and convert it into a Jewish state. But their view is that it should be just a Jewish state, and to remove the Palestinians from there because of either a biblical claim that they have, the Jewish people have, like a historical biblical claim, or because they simply have the capacity to clear out the area, and once that's done, they have the view that they can keep that state strong and healthy, despite everything. They have atomic bombs and stuff. But it's just not a workable solution. It's going to have to. The way I see it is going to have to be either a democratic state consisting of Jewish people and Palestinian Arabs, with the whole key to the Middle East is Jerusalem. Where does Jerusalem fit into the picture? And the only way I could see some sort of a peace arising from it is if Jerusalem is created into an international state, something like the Vatican is now, because everybody has a claim to it. The Jews have a claim to it. The Arabs have a claim to it. The Christians have a claim to it. And it's impossible to satisfy everybody about Jerusalem and how it should be handled, except in my view, as an international focus for life in the Middle East, where as an international city with its own government and consisting of people from all three religious views and independent of each one of the states that will be in the region, but can be regarded as the capital of all the states, both Israeli and Palestinian. That's the only way I could see that conflict being resolved in some way.